Am I the asshole for not letting my MIL's brother see my children after a travel day? Yesterday my wife and I flew back from Chicago with our 2 kids, 4 years old and 18 months old. The flight was delayed about an hour and a half, and during both the delay and the flight our youngest screamed for around 2 hours straight, as the flight was over her regular nap window where she usually sleeps 2-3 hours. Unfortunately, although she was exhausted, she couldn't fall asleep more than 20 minutes. By the time we finally got home, landed at 6 p.m., everyone was wiped out mentally and physically. My MIL actually picked us up from the airport, which was very kind of her, but she talked about wanting her brother, who was in town and driving back to Florida the next morning, to stop by our house that evening to meet the kids. She called him up and tried to invite him over once we got home without even consulting my wife or me. Luckily, I overheard her on the phone and interrupted her and told her flat out no. The kids were going straight to bed, and I refused to accommodate her brother. Mind you, it was already almost 7 p.m., and since we'd been on CST in Chicago, for the kids it felt even later. My MIL was offended that I wouldn't put off bedtime, so her brother could see them before he drove back today in the morning, and she made it clear she thought I was being rude when I told her under no circumstances would he be seeing my children that evening, not even my oldest. From my perspective, we had just survived a brutal travel day. The kids were overtired and melting down, and forcing them to stay up so a relative could say hi felt unfair to them and us as parents. I know family is important, but AITA for preventing a family member who was really only a 5-minute car ride away from visiting my kids? Not the asshole. If meeting your children was that important, he could stop by the next morning after everyone had a good night's sleep. Not the asshole. A visit after 7 p.m. is too late for a 4-year-old and 18-month-old on a good day. After a stressful travel day when they were already overtired, absolutely not. It wouldn't be fair to your children, and honestly the visit would probably be a miserable one anyway. Not the asshole. MIL had no business inviting her brother over to your home, even if you hadn't been just getting back from traveling. Why couldn't he have delayed driving back to FL for a few hours if it was so crucial they meet? Then they could meet when everyone has gotten some rest. I know family is important. People who truly believe family is important make arrangements in advance. He knew when he would be in the area. She knew you were traveling. There was opportunity to make arrangements. And frankly, if he cared about meeting the kids, he could have delayed Huss leaving time, since he was driving and not heading to an airport. There's no excuse for springing this on your family like this. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. If he truly wanted to see your children, he could come over for breakfast. Not the asshole. It's appropriate to prioritize the needs of small children over the feelings of adults who didn't make plans in advance. It's wildly inappropriate and rude as fuck to invite a person to someone else's home without permission. That's actually insane. Even Emily Gilmore wouldn't do that. Am I the asshole for asking my bridesmaids not to change out of their dresses after the ceremony? Hi Reddit, I late 20s F. I'm getting married real soon, like no time left to change dresses soon, and I'm honestly just trying to wrap my head around what's been going on with 2 of my bridesmaids. I chose the bridesmaid dresses with help from all the girls to fit the overall aesthetic of my wedding. Elegant, cohesive, and timeless, and to make sure each girl liked the dress. The dresses are multi-way, meaning they can be tied in loads of different ways to suit each person's style and comfort. It's an intimate wedding, and the color palette is black, which everyone agreed to months ago. Recently, 2 of my 3 bridesmaids told me they plan to bring a second dresses to change into after the ceremony. One of them straight up said she doesn't like how she looks in the dress, and will just wear it for the ceremony, and the other said she wants something more secure. Which doesn't really make sense because these are stretchy multi-way dresses, and proceeded to ask me what color she should choose for her second dress, knowing full well the bridal party colors are black. I told them I'd really appreciate if everyone stayed in their dresses for the night. It's one evening, my wedding, and we all picked these together. Plus, I wanted the photos to look cohesive, and for the bridal party to actually look like a bridal party. They didn't take it well. One disregarded my request, and said she knows she won't be comfortable and will change, and the other said she wants to make sure she's comfortable on the dance floor. The one bridesmaid who's totally fine with the dress doesn't understand why the other 2 are having such issues, and can't see why it's so hard for them to put their wants and desires to the side for one night to focus on me and what I want. I've never in my life heard of bridesmaids doing outfit changes. That's usually a bride thing. I'm not even changing into a second dress. It honestly took me aback and made me feel like they're trying to make the night about themselves instead of being part of the team. For context, it's already been a rocky experience with these two bridesmaids, a lot of drama, emotional distance, and moments where I felt like I had to walk on eggshells just to keep the peace. So this second dress thing really feels like the cherry on top. I'm so drained and just want to focus on having a good day, but I can't help feeling disrespected. I don't think it's unreasonable to ask my bridesmaids to wear the dresses we all chose for one night. So, am I the asshole for asking my bridesmaids not to change out of their dresses after the ceremony? Nah. I wore this style of dress in a wedding. It was the most uncomfortable dress, and it was difficult to style tie multi-way. 4 of the 6 of us changed after the first dances. By that time, photos are mostly over. Edit with judgment. You are the asshole because I've tried the dress and the slit is incredibly high, making it easy to flash everyone. Just ask them to get a black dress to change into. In 10 years, if it's not going to be a problem, maybe let them feel comfortable too. They're people, not props. INFO, what is the dress? I'm asking because if 2 out of 3 are saying they won't be comfortable in it, and it's not going to be good when dancing, that is an issue. If it's not an actual issue, that's a different story. There is not a soul on earth who is going to remember what your bridesmaids wore to your wedding except you and whatever photos you have taken. No one will remember the food, the cake, the speeches, or actually the wedding or the reception. No one but you, the groom and select family, and 1 or 2 friends. In 10 years' time, your wedding will be a distant memory. You will move on in life and what you're whining about today. 2 girls who want to wear comfortable clothes at a party will be the most insignificant thing. Like an old receipt you found in the bottom of your junk drawer. I'm not going to give Anna's whole judgment, but I think it'd be kind and big of you to let your friends change into dresses they're more comfortable in after the ceremony and the photos. Your friends, family, and guests won't remember the cohesive look you're very invested in here, but they will remember you being kind and flexible and a good friend. Get your pictures, and then let your guests get comfortable and have a great evening. Soft, you are the asshole. After the ceremony and formal photos are taken, why would you care if they continue to wear the dress to dance in? I am going to say this in the nicest way I can. I realize it is your wedding, but you will be happier if you let some things go. Face with tears of joy, face with tears of joy. I have been a bridesmaid that wore one of those multi-way dresses. It was 100% not secure enough to feel comfortable. I had to redo the straps several times throughout the night and was very aware of it while dancing. AITA. Family member loan. I asked for an agreement. Sister-in-law needs money on a short-term basis, just a few $1,000s. I have a rule for anything over $1,000 either needs a basic contract. So I offered a loan with what I consider to be rather favorable terms. 15-year amortization schedule, 12%. Lender can call for a balloon payment at the 60-month mark, no payments or interest for the first 6 months. She responded with an unwillingness to sign an agreement, and that I should simply lend the money because she is good for it. She also mentioned to my wife that she doesn't like the idea that I'm trying to make money off of her. I felt that my offer was extremely fair, and she had indicated an ability to pay the entire thing back in February, so in my mind offering 6 months of no interest and no payments is materially aligned with her desires. And specifically, I'm not making any money off of the deal if full repayment in February were to happen. I have been witness to friends and family loans turning into absolute disasters, which is why, for me, anything under $1,000 is always just a gift from my point of view, and over $1,000 gets a basic agreement, so that expectations are clear and both parties are protected. It's important to note that she did not cast any dispersions or say anything negative to me, but I definitely kind of felt like an asshole because her expectation was that I would just spot the cash with no type of agreement. At the same time, I don't appreciate the communication to my wife that I am trying to make money off of her. At the end of the day, I'm more than happy to float whatever they need for 6 months, but if circumstances change and I have cash locked up in something that doesn't pay any interest, for all intents and purposes, due to inflation, I am going to be perpetually paying a price beyond the initial loan amount. Not the asshole. If she is good for it, as she says, then you won't make any money from it, she'll pay you back within the specified period. Her protests make me think she either intends to take her sweet time repaying or to not pay you back at all. You are wise to protect your interests, family or not. Well, the fact that your sister-in-law thinks you're trying to make money off of her, when she claims she will be paying you back by February, before 6 months, interest-free loan period is up, kinda explains why she needs to borrow money from family members. Not the asshole. I'm surprised SIL isn't just saying thank you for lending her the money. No good deed and all that, I guess. At the same time, I don't appreciate the communication to my wife that I am trying to make money off of her. With 12% interest kicking in after the initial 6 months, you are setting yourself up to make money off of her if she has any sort of problem getting the debt repaid in the next 6 months: illness, accident, job loss, etc. I don't know where you are located, but your terms are absolutely harsh in comparison to what my local banks and credit unions offer for 48-month signature loans with no collateral. They're offering 6%, by the way. NTA for wanting a formal agreement, but you are the asshole for the overly punishing terms. You are the asshole for pretending 12% with a balloon payment at 60 months is rather favorable terms. LMAO. The terms are favorable to you for sure, but you know they're truly dog's hit for her when they're worse than even what credit card debt consolidation places typically offer, 8-11% and no balloon payments. I'm not making money off her, unless she can't pay fast enough, then it's 12% and a balloon. Yeah bro, that's basically a loan shark with a family discount. You are entering into loan shark territory, and I don't know why this subreddit is so keen to say you're wise for doing it. Your terms read like that of a payday lender, but they have to be regulated and licensed, and I doubt you're either of those. The best bit is that if you tried to enforce this, no court would back you because it's predatory. Just don't lend her the money, unless the whole purpose of this scheme is to profit from her, which it is. Edit. Most definitely you are the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my parent to not turn on the fridge? For context, I live with my grandmother, have been since a kid, and my parent moved in later on. I am 23, she is 50. I do plan to move out soon. This post is not about that. Just context on the situation. So we just got a fridge due to the old one breaking on us. We were told we needed to wait an hour before attempting to switch it on. Parent was not there for this information. She asked my gran why it wasn't on. She told her it must wait an hour. I said it can only be put on at 12:30. It was 11:30. She despite this attempted to plug it in and started up too early. I told her again, please don't switch it on until 12:30. She said I can't do that as she's leaving the house now for something. Again attempted to do it again. Told her I could do it. I read the manual, and it needs to wait till 12:30. She then proceeded to yell at me saying, I am not a moron. Fuck off, and you're such an asshole. Was I really an asshole? I just wanted to make sure we don't break the new fridge. My gran can't afford another one. This isn't the first time she's yelled at me over something like this. I want to know if I am the asshole, so that I can make sure I don't do it again, as I don't want tension for my grandmother. Not the asshole, and your parent is being a big ol' baby. It's extremely immature of her to shout at you because you were doing the responsible thing and trying not to break a very expensive purchase. Considering this isn't the first time she's done something like this, your parent clearly has issues with acting like an adult, understanding the word no, and respecting you and your gran. Not the asshole. It's normal to let a fridge settle before plugging in. It's not normal to shout at your kid and call them names because they correct you when you do something wrong. It is important to leave your fridge to settle after moving to protect the appliance's internal parts and to ensure that the fridge continues to work to maximum efficiency. When moving a fridge, the compressor oil can leak into the refrigeration system, causing a blockage if the appliance is turned on too quickly. The oil in a refrigerator protects the appliance's parts, working to ensure that the appliance does not break down or deteriorate when in constant use. By leaving your fridge to settle, you can ensure that the compressor oil returns to its original position, preventing damage to your appliance in the process. No, your parent is actually stupid. Not the asshole, you were taking the right steps. Maybe your mom didn't know the refrigerant needed to settle. She was very rude and inappropriate to cuss you out. It's good you'll be removing yourself from her abuse. I hope she doesn't treat your grandma the way she talked to you. You're not the asshole. Your mother was deliberately ignoring explicit instructions for no good reason. Is she one of those stubborn people who thinks anyone younger than she cannot possibly know something she doesn't know?